Hey guys, Corey Ballard with Ballard Products and Perfect Cut Site Management out of Des Moines, Iowa. Super excited to be a part of the Launchpreneur Academy Live, which is November 13th. So make sure you jump on, get signed up. Just a great opportunity to have some great speakers there, network with your peers, learn how to grow your company, share a lot of ideas with guys in the industry doing some of the same stuff you are, better or worse, but great opportunity. November 13th. I guarantee you won't regret it. Get your tickets now, get signed up, and elevate your company. Thanks, and have a great day.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Bryan Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Bryan Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys, and good morning. All right, well, we are really excited about doing a guest interview today with you guys. We have joining us live online, too. We have none other than Brayden. How do you say your last name? Is it Thome or Tome?
It's Thome, yes. Spelled like Jim Thome, like the baseball player, but it's Thome, yeah.
Thome, okay, we got you. All right, so Excellence in Lawn Care, joining us from Maume, Ohio. I know that area really well, like Perrysburg, Maume. The reason, this is really bad, but the reason I know that area really well is anytime Liz and I would go on a road trip or go out of town, we would hit 75 South. That was the nearest Chick-fil-A for us for a decade. So we would get off at the Perrysburg like south exit and go a mile or two east off the highway there and hit up that Chick-fil-A. I'm sure you know the one. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's right behind there's like the Kohl's, and across the streets a couple other restaurants. And so when we were talking, I said, "Hey, dude, you're in Maume, Ohio." I said, "I know that area for the most part." So have you been born and raised in that area pretty much your whole life, or?
Yeah, born and raised Maume, Ohio, and plan to stick around pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, that is a beautiful area, and Toledo's definitely got some cool areas of town as well. Downtown area, you know, a little sketch sometimes, but if you get into if you get into some of the burbs, it's actually some pretty nice areas. I know DJ Aldrich, for example, he's in the northwest side of Toledo, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool, man. Well, we're gonna do an interview and get to hang out with you today for a good half hour here. We've been actually trying to catch up and do this episode for a couple of weeks now. We actually both have a rain date today, so I text you because we're going to do a podcast this evening at like 8 p.m., which is when I do all my content. For you guys that are listening in, like, how does he run his lawn care business and do podcasting and do YouTube? Like, everything literally happens after 8, 9, 10 p.m. at night. Like, we have a newborn baby. She's in bed by 8:30. Mom's usually pooped out. She's tired. She's out by 9:30. And I kind of go to work. I'm like, all right, I can edit YouTube videos. We can do podcasts with you guys late night. So everything we do is after hours. But you were just saying, Brayden, that you guys got rain as well this morning. What's the weather like over by you guys in this side of town?
Same exact thing. It is just soggy and moist, and rain's not letting up, and it's cloudy all week. I know there's a rain chance every day this week, and it's just like it's just ridiculous. You don't get a break. You don't get a break from it.
Just pulling your hair out kind of conditions, right?
That's basically what it is, because you're so behind. It's been working weekends, and it's just stupid.
I literally feel you like 100%. I was texting one of my friends, Jake Meisner. He's about 30 minutes north and northeast of me. Another friend of mine, Brett's Lawn Care, or Brett's Property Management Maintenance. He's over here 5 minutes on the road, and we're texting. He's like, "Dude, you going out?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Me neither." So it's just... It's so tough because we were just talking on a podcast a couple of days ago. There's only so many working days left in the season, and we're trying to button up all this work, get those last mows in, and the weather is clearly not cooperating here in Michigan, neither in Ohio, right?
No, it's not at all. And you just never get a break from it. It's been spring all year long. There's been no heat for it. No dry weather.
Right. That is the truth. It's spring all year long is probably going to be the title of this episode, because, man, we can totally relate. It's got to be one of the most like wettest summers that I can remember in quite a few years. So, well, let's do this. Well, we're going to take advantage of hearing your story. We've gotten to know each other over the last maybe 3 years now. I know at least for 2, because I've seen you come to Launchpreneur Academy Live a couple times, and it's really cool getting to look back on the Instagram feed. Before we hit record, I said, "Dude, I'm going through your Instagram feed, and like it's just cool seeing you grow up, your business mature, getting new customers, getting new equipment. You're only 19 years old, but you are so much further along than where I was just a few years ago. And I think that's pretty synonymous with most guys listening in who are younger. You guys have such a great head start. It's not even funny. So I'm just so excited for you, man. But let's do this really quick. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors. We're going to hear from Marty, Mr. Producer, down in the ATL. He's the one that quarterbacks the show. We super appreciate him and his commitment to the show. By the way, have you guys ever noticed that without fail, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the podcast drops at 6 or 7 a.m.? I think that is one of the coolest things ever, because here's why. If you guys know anything about quitting things and delegating and all that stuff, you need a team to really succeed at a high level in life. That's my opinion and my observation. Well, I hit start on the podcast. I hit stop on the podcast. I upload it to Mr. Producer, and he helps you guys with the links in the show notes and getting access to the rate adjustment letter and the commercial contracts, the snow contracts, the YouTube channel, the Postcard Mania links, to all the resources that we have available for you guys. He's the one that literally loads the podcast, loads the show, drops it in the morning, gets all those links for you guys for the resources if you want to go down the rabbit hole with something that you hear promoted on the podcast. So we super appreciate him and his commitment to the show. So if you guys ever want to just tag him or say thank you, he's at Mr. Producer USA on Instagram. And you know what? We all love those attaboys. We all love being appreciated and hearing a thank you once in a while. Can you guys send him a thank you? Or when you guys leave a 5-star rating and review, can you say thank you, Mr. Producer? The next 2-3 people that leave a review and say thank you, Mr. Producer, for all of your commitment, those are the ones we're going to read next on the show. All right. So somebody help me out, show me some love. And we're going to hear from today's show sponsors, and then we're going to come right on back.
L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2021 is going to be the biggest and best one yet. And we want to see you Saturday, November 13th in Novi, Michigan. Join hundreds of entrepreneurs just like yourself who are looking to crush it in their business and make 2022 the most profitable year ever. This year's speakers are a who's who of the industry. Greg Whitstock, Corey Ballard, Keith Kalfas, Mark Parker, Caleb and Brittany Almond, Haver Pete, Brian and Liz Fullerton, and Jeff Joyner. L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2021 is a powerful and inspiring all-day conference designed to help you take your business to the next level. And it's brought to you by Xmark, RedMax, SureTrack Trailers, and Yard Book. If you make it to town Friday, November the 12th, you're invited to hang out, network, and have a blast at the Full Throttle Adrenaline Park, brought to you by Toro's Horizon 360. Come ride endless laps on the high-powered go-karts, play virtual reality games, and win great prizes. Excited about bringing your spouse to the event? Discounted spouse tickets are available. Excited about bringing your whole crew? Group discounts of 4 or more also available. Do whatever you have to do to make it to L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2021 and grab your tickets before they're sold out. Tickets will go fast, so if you'd like to get more information, visit us at l'entrepreneuracademy.com or use the link in the show description and follow along with the hashtag LAL 2021.
All right, Brayden. So we're going back to you, brother. Let's talk about you and your startup story. So you're 19 years old. You're a young entrepreneur out there in Maume, Ohio. And how long have you been in the green industry business, or how did you get your business started?
I've been doing it for like 5-6 years now.
Cool.
Back when I was a freshman in high school, I was 14 years old. And my brother and my older cousin were just mowing around the neighborhood, pushing their mowers around, had about, 10 customers. And it's a small neighborhood where we grew up in. And so it was easy to just walk around and push mow yards, whatnot. And they're 4 years older than me. So they did that through high school. And then when they were ready to go off to college, they said, here you go, to me. And then my cousin, who's just another year older than me, they gave it to us too. And so we were doing the same thing for a couple of years, pushing mowers around the neighborhood. And, my intention starting that was, let me just get some money through high school, save up for college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet. So the first year we just, pushed them around. We had our little handheld blowers and Ryobi trimmer with an edger attachment. We switched out every yard, and it was kind of a pain carrying them around the neighborhood. It got heavy. You're 14 years old. You're
sure.
Weak and young and whatnot.
Yep.
And did that for the first season. Next year, I said, Dad, there's got to be a better way for us to do this. And I said, why don't we build a cart behind my bike that I could put the mower up into and then put the trimmer on and the blower on so I can just ride my bike around the neighborhood.
Okay.
And so he designed it, and we built it together, just a wooden cart that the mower, just one push mower fit up to. I had a Honda self-propelled push mower that was actually my dad's that he just let me use. So that year I rode my bike around the neighborhood, and instead of walking, it was a heck of a lot better. And I said, man, this is starting to get a little bit better. I know we got just a couple of extra yards, but still limited to the neighborhood. And following year, I said, well, maybe I get a zero-turn mower, just a residential one from Lowe's. I got a Troy-built residential 42-inch mower. It was like $2,400.
Wow.
And we used the same cart, and we attached it to the zero-turn. We made a little hitch for it, and so I drove the same cart around the neighborhood behind the zero-turn that still had the push mower on it and the trimmers and the blower and whatnot. And so now we could really get around. I mean, we didn't have to use a bike anymore. So we were just, we were
awesome.
cruising. And yeah, the step up from a push mower to a zero turn, I mean, it was only 42 inches, but it was a heck of a lot better.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, I didn't realize that the residential mowers then of how, you know, just poor the cut quality is. If the spring grass, it can hardly handle it. But that's what I knew, and we made it work. And I think it was after that year, I realized, man, I'm really making some good money now. I might have had maybe about 20 yards just in the neighborhood.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, I'm really making good money. And I didn't even have a truck at the time. I know I got my license. I got just a Toyota sedan. And the following year, I bought a truck. I just went out and got a 2013 F-150. Might have been like $19,000, and my dad obviously co-signed on it. I was 16 years old, and we got the truck. And I know I bought a utility trailer from what's the place over there? Tractor Supply. It was like $2,000.
Okay.
And my bank account was drained, but at that point I was like, man, now I can go out of the neighborhood. I'm ready to keep going.
Spread your wings.
And yeah, exactly. And I think it was at this point that I decided I don't think college is really for me, because if I'm growing it like this, you know, it's not something I need, and I don't have to spend the money on it. So I was set on just doing this. And from then on, it just kind of grew. I know I started out with like a 36 Wright. That was my first commercial mower. I got the 36 kind of after Stet's Lawn Care, Stetson Riley. He started with a 36, fit in those small backyards, and did the same thing, and just kind of grew it from there. And now I got a new truck this year, a new enclosed trailer. Still have the original trailer I still use for brush and whatnot, and it's just been growing. No college, and
Dude, that's awesome.
It's been a heck of a ride. Yeah.
do you so have you, there's so much to unpackage there, man. So let's take it back to when you were 14, 15, 16, because I remember when I had I was living in the trailer park with my mom, obviously, and I had a push mower, but it was one of those like two, I don't know what you call it, like one was the drive, one was the PTO engage, right? So what I did is I put my little handheld blower and my trimmer on it, and then I sat on I weighed like 80 pounds right back then, but I sat on the engine block and then just held the handle behind me so it would go forward. And on a straightaway, I mean, I would go, 4 miles an hour, because this trailer park had 650 home sites. It was huge. And of course, all my customers were on there's a huge lake in the middle of this thing. So I had like a 5 or 10 minute ride all the way around to the other side of the trailer park. And you're like, I mean, to walk that with pushing your rig, your little setup when you're 14, 12 years old, like that's like walking up the hill both ways in the snow, right, guys? Like that.
Yeah. Good luck.
Right. So I did the same thing you did. I had probably like an old radio flyer, wagon. And I remember building little walls on the side and put my stuff in there. And then I sat in the wagon and then basically drove the mower from inside the wagon. It was so honest, so humble, so pathetic at the same time too. But it was but it's where you start, man. And now I see kids like Henry Samar, I think it is, or Samir on Instagram. He's got his Polaris Ranger, and he's got this huge cart and he's zipping around. I'm like, bro, I didn't have a four-wheeler or a Ranger, or even a zero-turn like yourself. I mean, if you would have drove by me and I was the other kid, I would have been like, man, that guy's the Joneses living the dream, So
right.
I just think it's so cool. at the humble beginnings. It really makes you think as a young person, because you don't have money, you have time, and you can get resourceful and get creative. How did you know to grow the business? Like what kept you going? If your brothers or friends or whatever passed the baton to you with the business, how did you learn more about the business? Were you watching YouTube? Were you just figuring it out as you go? Like what was your thought process at like 15 years old?
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Because they didn't grow the business at all. They just kept the same customers and just did their thing and didn't even care about it. But,
okay.
And I think it was my second year in or so, I just kind of got really into it. I know I started watching YouTube videos. I'm pretty sure I came across you at that point and some other guys. B&B was, still big back then. And, some of those other guys. And after I started watching videos and just learning more about the industry, I know that I kind of got more attached and engaged into it. And then, also just seeing the dollar signs when you're, even now, but even that age, it's like when you start seeing the money rolling a little bit, it feels good. And it's not like you have expenses back then when the business is that big. All you want to do is just kind of grow the business. But most kids that age want to go out and spend money on, video games and other things. And
right.
I definitely did a lot of that too. But at the same time, it's like I wanted to put money and time in the business, and just kind of watching YouTube definitely got me more engaged in the business. And learning about how to run a business it was a learning curve. I know every yard was a $20, $25 yard. It's just, I look back on that, it's like, wow, that's kind of pathetic. But, it could have been making way much more money, and came across some customers back then. It's like I'm 15 and 16 and they're just looking down on you,
taking advantage.
Deal. Yeah, exactly. And it's just that was stupid.
Well,
but, you learn a lot.
Let me ask you this about that right mower. So we don't have access to a lot of right up here. I think you have a right Sander X, if I'm looking at the feed correctly on your Instagram. What's your opinion about the right Sander? Like, what made you go with that? Were you looking at other mowers, and then also how did you end up purchasing that or financing that?
Yeah, for sure. So I started with the right 36, and I got one because Stet's Lawn Care on YouTube. I was just recently became friends with him a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple years ago when I saw him get that, I was like, man, maybe I really want that. And I'd have no idea about dealers around my area or anything like that. But I found a right dealer. It's a Great Lakes rental. And they basically rent equipment, but they also sell right mowers. And to be honest, they're not like a mower dealer, so they're not, you don't want to get any dealer support from them. And I didn't realize that then. But I decided to go with them. I know the right mower striped well, did all that, and then got the Sander X. So I was running two right mowers, and then they stripe really well, they cut well. Just when it comes to wet grass and tall grass, I realized they are not the mowers for me. So I demoed Toros last year. There's a great Toro dealer around me, Sylvania Mower Center, family owned, and great dealer support. And I realized how nice it is to have a great company by your side, basically. And the Toros just cut so well for me and just handle all the cool season grass when it's tall and wet. They just do such a good job. So I transitioned over to those. But
cool.
The rights are what got me started, and financing them, to answer that question. The 36, my dad co-signed on that when I first got that. And then he also co-signed on the 52. Thank God for him, because if it weren't for him, I would not be able to buy those. I didn't have $8,000 in my pocket at the time,
Sure.
And at 0% interest. So, if you can afford $150, $200 a month, why not get an amazing commercial mower that'll help you grow your business?
Right. And for anybody, the peanut gallery, like the haters out there, they're like, well, you see like a 16-year-old kid with an $8,000 mower and like, well, daddy bought it. It's like, dude, right. he might have like co-signed or helped finance it, but it's not like your dad's giving you $8,000 to go, run this business, or did he, or did you have to pay for this thing on your own?
Right. No, I definitely paid it all on my own. The only thing that he funded me was that original push mower back in the day is what, we started out on. But no, none of that $8,000 was his. And over the years, it just became more my mower from paying it off and got
Right.
nothing from it.
I just think it's so funny. People are like the thought process out there. They're like, well, daddy helped you finance it, or mom and dad helped you finance. And it's like, yeah, like, thank God my parents like got their, stuff together enough to like help me get a head start. I mean, isn't that like the goal in life, is to like put your kids in nicer vehicles, or put your kids, like, I don't want my kid to have to buy a, $1,500 car like I had or something like that. Like I'm not going to give my kid a $90,000 G-Wagon, but I'd like to put him in something with, ABS and, airbags, for crying out loud, and I don't want to put him in a 200,000 mile Toyota Corolla, like, and if you have, if you have to start there, like we've all been there, but would I like to put my kid in a nice, safe vehicle? Yeah. But like, take advantage of that. If your parents, let me ask you this. This is one I get sometimes from the younger guys. Like, how did you convince your dad, or was there any convincing there, or did you have to, sell him the dream, or how did you have that conversation with him, like to take a chance on you to co-sign for eight grand?
Yeah. Well, as the business started growing, when I got that residential zero turn, I think he started to see, the money coming in and whatnot. And at first, when I said, Dad, I don't really want to go to college. I kind of want to do this. And I know him and my mom were pretty opposed to that. But I changed their mind pretty quick when I started getting more customers and growing the business. And then he realized, okay, this is really good money. And at that time I was like, hey, look at these guys on YouTube. Look at Brian or B&B and, big companies in my area. I'm like, this is the money that they're making, projected. If you say they have X amount of yards with $35 a yard average. And so when he saw the numbers, it kind of clicked in his head like, oh, okay, he can make a living doing it. And I think after he saw that, he said, okay, it's okay to co-sign, because I was clearly making enough money every month to pay for that.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm very, very thankful to, have parents like that, because not everyone can have parents that, not give them a free handout per se, but help them along the way.
Right.
It definitely helps me out. And hopefully for my kids, I can do the same thing, because it's definitely blessed for that.
Well, I think the cool thing too is seeing your dad like believe in you and your commitment to the business and your dream, if you will, to like encourage you to keep going, because
absolutely.
Like I have nothing, no harbored feelings or anything against my mom, like saying, hey, because I was 16 and I had this fork in the road because I just got my license or just about to. And my mom, I remember like the conversation, like, you need to get a real job. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I literally went to Little Caesars, and it was like a franchise down the road, 2 miles down the road, and it was paying $6.74 an hour. And I was like, and that's just what you did. Like my mom's like, okay, this lawn care thing is cute, but like, I was making like $300 in a weekend in 4 hours, and, push mowing a dozen lawns or whatever. And then she's like, go get a job at Little Caesars making $6.74 an hour back then. Even, okay, listen, all my Fight for 15 people out there, like, look, even if you had $15 at 15, 18, 20 hours a week, I was making the same amount of money in a day that I was 4 shifts, working at Little Caesars, and, by the way, this whole Fight for 15 thing, I'm on board with it for real. I think it is the best thing that has ever happened to America, because here's why. As a business owner, I wish I could get all my employees' payroll down to $15 an hour. So I am all about paying people $15 an hour, because man, I can't even get a guy to show up for 18, 20, $25 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So for all of you advocates out there that want to fight for 15, hey, cheers. I'll meet you there. Cause man, I can't get a guy to go trim grass for less than 18, so I think, I don't know, Brayden, I think we should have take everything back to 15 an hour. I think I'm on board with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I'd agree with that.
You guys are all like glass, half empty. I'm thinking glass half full. Let's go to 15, man. I'm right there with you, so that's too funny right there. Well, I think it's really cool to see you commit to the business. And it's just like anything in life. The more you commit to it, the better results and gains you're going to get. And the more you get those results, those gains, and that feedback, the more you're going to commit to it, right? It's this awesome positive feedback loop. So, what's the business look like today? Like how has things evolved? You got a couple different mowers. Are you still living at home, or how many accounts are you guys currently servicing right now?
Yeah, we currently do like 80, 90 yards a week. Last year was like 35, 40, so I've definitely doubled the growth. Yeah, and we got 5 commercial clients. The new truck I got this year, the old truck was kind of on its way out, being a 2013, surprisingly, but got the new truck this year and got the enclosed trailer, a couple new Toro grandstands, and hired my first employee back in the beginning of the year. He's actually a buddy of mine that I've known for 5-6 years.
Okay.
And I know some people, with friends hiring, it doesn't really work out, but it's really working out, thank God. And I hired another guy. So now there's 2 guys working with me.
That's awesome, dude.
And yeah, I know I'm planning to do snow this year. Those commercial places will definitely help out with the snow.
Cool.
For sure. And
the not to cut you off, but is that the white 250 that I'm seeing here on the Instagram?
Yep, that's the white 250. I got it back in let's see, May, I think, late May. And my
awesome.
girlfriend and I, we just got a house back in December, and with the money rolling in, it definitely able to get a house together and live on your own at this age is kind of a shocker, I think, to a lot of people. But
wow,
it is what it is, and I'm having a great time doing it, and
you got to
supporting them.
You got to be excited about the truck, because that's just for you guys that maybe aren't on Instagram or following him yet. If you want to, it's Excellence in Lawn Care LLC. You got to give Brayden a follow, but he's got a white Illuma Duty with some blacked out rims and the black tint. Looks super mean, super sharp, dude. Like I'm pumped for you, man. That is a cool looking truck to have at 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
What do your parents think about you in the business now? Are they, hey, we always knew you'd win and succeed, or are they like kind of blown away, or what's their approach right now?
Kind of a little bit of both of what you just said. They always believed in me, which was great, and I'm thankful for that. But now the numbers that I'm showing my dad and my mom, it's like they're blown away by it, and it's only up from here. I mean, the business last year it doubled this year, and actually it's going to go way over my goal from what it was this year. But
sure,
yeah, they're definitely proud and blown away at the same time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, I mean, to at this age, the best advice I always try to give to the younger crowd, and even younger being 30, okay, even it's not really the age, I should say, is more like the years in business. People always ask, like, what's the best thing I can do? And I say, 1, dream big, but 2, keep reinvesting as much as you can for as long as you can. And right. you're literally doing that. You're a great example of that. You're buying mowers, you're paying them off or paying them down quickly. I'm sure that truck you'll have, if you haven't paid cash for it, I'm sure it'll be paid off in 2-3 years maybe. So good for you, man. That's really, really cool. Let's do this as we kind of land the plane here. Where do you see things going over the next maybe 24 to 36 months with the company? Do you have plan to get bigger, hire more guys, stay at where you're at? No right or wrong answer, of course.
Yeah, I definitely plan to grow. I know I want to get my, fertilizing license. I don't know if they call it that or whatnot. I know you need a license down here in Ohio for it.
Yep.
I want to do that maybe over the winter this year, because the 2 guys I have, they're able to go out by themselves, mow all week if they need to. Like when I go to GIE this month, they're going to be mowing for me. I trust them. They do a great job.
That's awesome.
And thank God that's worked out for me. Yeah, and I didn't plan on that this year, but the way it's worked out, it's been great. If I get sick or something, it's nice to have that to fall back on. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I want to get the fertilizing license, so next year, I can do all that, because that's a great extra income, is what I found out, and it's really easy, honestly, to do fertilizing, and there's a lot I got to learn about it, but I think fertilizing is the next part of the business I want to do, and maybe continue to grow, get another employee, but definitely get more properties for sure as far as lawns. Don't know if I want to grow as big as Ballard or not yet. But that's a stretch to even be saying that right now. But
sure,
just kind of see how it goes, ride with the flow, and definitely keep growing. I'm happy where I'm at, but when you see dollar signs, you definitely want more of that. So that's kind of where it's going. I'm excited to start snow this year. I've never snow plowed before, so getting a V plow, Boss V plow here, actually installed this month. And that'll be great. Yeah.
Well, if you need some good commercial snow contracts, you know where to turn, man. So,
Hey, I already got it. So,
there you go. That's awesome, man. Well,
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Selfish request here, and you can be as totally honest, with what you say, obviously. But Launchpreneur Academy Live, that's our live event coming up November 13th. I got to meet you there last year. It was the craziest of circumstances, but the event was such a banger. Are you already coming again this year? I think you were saying, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so can you do me a solid? If somebody's never been and they're on the fence thinking about it, what was your honest opinion of it? You can literally right now tell me it sucks. I'm doing this real time, so don't let me sway you. But what was your opinion of the event, and what's making you make the decision to come back? Because clearly, hopefully, you got something out of it last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you how much I learned last year and the information I retained. I still have my notebook full of notes from all the speakers. I learned so much in just that one day from these people who have been, running their businesses for 10, 15 plus years. And they've really given me stepping stones on, in the future when I come to those paths. So I definitely say 100% is worth it to go. I'm trying to get one of my other buddies down here to go, and he said, well, it's kind of expensive. And I said, dude, it's $170, $180, and the information you get is just like, it's unbelievable. And I definitely recommend, if you're on the fence, definitely go. If you're across the country, I don't know how much money you want to spend, but if you're close like me, definitely go. It's 100% worth it. That's
awesome, man. Well, we appreciate the kind words. And who was your favorite speaker last year? Like maybe something that stood out to you, and then who you're looking forward to hearing from this year?
Yeah, I definitely loved Jeff Joyner. I know he's coming back this year.
Yeah.
He's just a really good guy to listen to talk to. And honestly, everybody, I learned so much information from everybody. I know there's some different people coming back this year to talk. Corey Ballard, learning about, running and managing employees from him was really good information to keep, tucked in your pocket for the long run.
Yeah.
And just everybody.
He got very detailed. I didn't expect him to get that detail, but yeah, I took like a half a page of notes because I was attending my own event. I'm telling you guys straight up, I want to learn too. And I was really impressed with how much Corey shared, because you never know if he's just gonna like rah or like get more brass tacks, and
right.
So that was definitely a highlight last year. I think he would never admit it on the podcast, but he was definitely nervous, bro. He's like talk. Yeah. He goes leading a couple guys. He goes, that's no big deal. But he goes, public speaking in front of 200-300 people. He's like, not exactly my forte. He goes, I'll do it. But he goes, not my forte. And then, so last year, if you guys didn't come to the event, we actually had to split it all up into 5 different rooms of 50 because of COVID restrictions and all this mess. Well, this year we're all back in one room. Praise the Lord. So right off the bat, the energy is going to be 5 to 10 times as much. Like it is going to.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so pumped, bro. I'm like, I told Liz I want to buy like 200 loud sticks and just create a ruckus, so those banger sticks like at a Monster Jam or something, but I told Corey, I said, hey man, I want to have you come back to speak at Launchpreneur Academy. He's like, awesome, dude. He goes, count me in. I go, well, I said, before you say that, I said, we're all gonna be back in one room. There's gonna be 350 people there. And he goes, he said some expletives deleted, he's like, are you he's like, are you blankety blank kidding me? And I go, I said, come on, big time. I said, you're wearing the alligator shoes and, you got the muscles. I said, go get a pump that morning and burn off the anxiety, So,
yeah,
if you guys get to know Corey, he'll pitch and catch with you. Okay. He's a fun dude and he dishes it. He'll take it. He's a fun guy like that. But, any which way, if you guys want to come to Launchpreneur Academy just to see Corey be nervous in front of 350 people, Mr. Big Time, it'll be worth it alone. So launchpreneuracademy.com/store if you guys want to get your tickets. They're selling like crazy right now, and for good reasons. We're about 30 days out from the event, and don't miss it, guys. I'm telling you, don't miss it. So we'll let Brayden, let's button up right here, man. This was super cool, super fun. Maybe sometime in the winter we'll get a little winter season update since it's your first time doing snow. What do you think about that?
Totally. Sounds great to me. Yeah, I'm excited about snow for sure. See how it goes.
Amen to that. Well, it's keep the plow within the lane, and the curbs they're out there, but they're forgiving, so don't worry about it. That's awesome, man. Well, where can people find you and keep in touch with you if they want to reach out to you on Instagram? Maybe they got some questions. Another 18, 19, 20-year-old kid wants to connect with you. Where can they find you?
Totally. Yeah. Instagram is just Excellence in Lawn Care LLC. Same thing for Facebook. You can message me on there, Excellence in Lawn Care LLC. And ask me any questions you want. And yeah.
Awesome, man. And again, you're down in the Maume, Ohio area, which is basically that's where I relate to everything based on where Chick-fil-A's are at. So you're a handful of miles away from the Perrysburg Chick-fil-A, which is pretty funny. So that's where we know you. So next time I'm down that way, I'll shoot you a text and we'll link up and get some 8-piece nuggets. What do you think?
It sounds good to me.
Awesome, man. All right, guys. Well, we'll button up right here with Brayden. This is just a fun, quick conversation. We're both taking advantage of the rain day. Go figure. We were talking before we hit start that we basically get the same, weather and the weather pattern, and we're just drowning in water over here. I swear, man. Every other day, it's just a rain day or a rain out, and we're just doing our best to get as much done as we can before the whistle blows at the end of the season. So, guys, we thank you again for taking the time to listen to this episode of Fullerton Unfiltered. Don't forget to check the show notes if you guys want to hear a little bit more and go down the rabbit hole with anything that we might have plugged on the podcast, like the contracts for snow plowing, the tickets for Lawntrepreneur Academy. They're all in the show notes and description that Mr. Producer puts down there for you guys, which takes a lot of time and effort. So we super appreciate him and what he's doing for the show. If you guys need anything else in the meantime, shoot us a DM on Instagram or shoot us an email, brianslawmaintenance2007@gmail.com. Always here for you guys. And in all sincerity, we just appreciate you guys taking time to listen to the show, help us keep ranking in the top 100 on all entrepreneurships podcasts in America. And we couldn't thank you guys enough. So Brayden, that's it, brother. That's what we got for today's episode, man. Thanks again for joining us on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brian. It's been an honor, and I look forward to possibly coming back on here again. Thank you very much.
You bet, brother. All right, guys, we'll button up right here. Thanks again for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Guys, we look forward to catching up with you here on the next one.
Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2021 is going to be the biggest and best one yet. Saturday, November 13th in Novi, Michigan. This year's speakers are a who's who of the industry. Greg Woodstock, Corey Ballard, Keith Kalfas, Mark Parker, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Haver Pete, Brian and Liz Fullerton, and Jeff Joyner. Do whatever you have to do to make it. The Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2021. Tickets will go fast. Get yours today at lawntrepreneur.academy.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.